Hello, friends, and welcome back to this final edition of the VLP 2020 Virtual Champions for Justice Awards. The first award today is in the category of pro bono litigation, and it goes to Anthony Rupp. Tony did a terrific job of assisting people who had been scammed out of the title to their home.
The case that we're talking about was a very unfortunate situation where, a woman who was not of means, obviously, had received some inheritance and had saved up some money to be able to buy a property. And she ran into some trouble paying the taxes and the expenses and the upkeep on it. And so an investor came in and offered her some funds in exchange for some pretty draconian terms in terms of repayment. And also, demanded what's called a deed in lieu, which would allow them to just go to the clerk's office, skip the entire foreclosure process, which is, of course, a protection that New York state law affords to debtors who are in danger of losing their property, and forces the entire apparatus of the state government and the courts through the foreclosure process to protect those people. And what New York law prohibits, however, is holding on to a deed in lieu as a creditor in case you want to file it later on. So what happened was she went into default on the loan. The deed in lieu was filed. The property was taken from her. She was evicted out onto the streets. Her possessions were put at the curb, including the ashes of her parents in their urns. The property was then torn apart. Work that she had done inside the property was torn out to sort of steal the property from her and sell it to somebody else. And that's when she appealed to VLP, and VLP asked me to take the case. I will add that I think here the VLP client was particularly vulnerable. I think that these are sophisticated operators who took advantage of her with one of these white knight loans. They coerced her into signing documents that were not in her interest. They lied to her essentially about whether she was going to own the home, be a tenant in the home. They confused her with paperwork. And I think they were basically toying with her as a cat might toy with a mouse, thinking that she lacked either the sophistication or the resources or both to pursue a recovery. And I think that's where the power of VLP is, that able to hook up the client with an attorney who had some experience in this area, and was able to turn the tables and really put it to the people who are trying to take advantage. And one of the things I like about doing legal work for VLP and its clients is the ability to turn the tables on the wrongdoers and say to them, you're not going to be able to push this person around because they lack the resources, or potentially they lack the sophistication to stand up for their legal rights. They're going to now have a lawyer who's going to fight very hard for them and make sure that they're not victims of injustice. Very humbled and very gratified to have received it. It was totally unexpected. Not something that I really even 100% knew was out there to pursue. I mean, I like doing work for VLP because I find it personally fulfilling and enriching. I like to get the different matters in, and as I mentioned earlier, I like to make or help to make, if I can, a difference in the lives of people who really need a leg up. I think everybody is entitled to a lawyer. I believe in that sincerely and fully, whether it's criminal or whether it's civil. And I hope to continue to be able to offer up my time and resources from my law firm, that I'm very grateful to have the power of a large law firm behind me working on these cases. So I want to thank VLP for the award. I know there's a lot of very, very deserving attorneys out there, and I'm very humbled to be honored by VLP. It means a lot to me. But the thing that I want to make clear is that this was a team effort. My law firm backs me up on these VLP cases. I'm the pro bono partner, and I help to intake them. And sometimes my eyes are a little too big for my belly, I guess, in terms of wanting to help and bring the cases in. And that load sometimes falls on my colleagues and associates who work these cases as just as hard, if not harder, than they would work for a paying client. And so the Rizzo case, my colleague Chad Davenport was of tremendous assistance to me. He helped to prep for the hearing. He was there at my side as my second chair as we proceeded to a hearing before Judge Montour. Before his involvement, and in addition to it, my colleagues Matt Smith and others helped me on this file and continue to help me to bring it home to this day. So the thing I want to emphasize is I've told my colleagues that while this award was issued to me personally, and that's very humbling and gratifying, I consider it to be an award made to my law firm, Rupp, Boz, Falstaff, Cunningham. I'm very proud of my colleagues' support of VLP in particular, but the pro bono community in general. And we do pro bono work that's not even, it's outside of the VLP referral network. When we see a client in need that needs help, we do the work. And that's a team effort. It's a firm-wide effort. And that's why this award really should go to my law firm generally and not to me specifically. But I do want to thank VLP and its board for the award. I truly am grateful for receiving it.
Our final award goes to Mark Walling, and it is for pro bono immigration work.
Both Sean Mache and his brother were targeted because they are members of a ethnic group called the Tutsis. And there's a long history of conflict in Burundi between the Tutsis and the Hutus. So their father had been, there was an attempt to assassinate their father as he was driving home back in December of 2015. He was shot in the chest and arm. He had an aunt and uncle who were murdered. His mother was threatened by the police in Burundi when he refused to become a member of the Hutu militia. Then it was right after that they sent him a threatening email threatening to kill him. And they basically said, we missed with your father, but we won't miss with you. We ended up with a hearing that went on for really just one day, but there was a lot of evidence considered in that hearing. We were able to show that to the judges, to be able to convince the judge that this was a threat to their lives, and the judge was clearly convinced that they would be very likely murdered if they were to be returned to Burundi. So based on that, judge did rule in favor of the asylum application. So I have to say, of all the things I've done in my legal career, I haven't ever been involved in a case that I thought was more important. And it was a case that I'm very grateful to be able to have handled. I'm extremely grateful to Molly Deacon, who was at the Volunteer Lawyers Project, for all of her help. I am extremely grateful to Liza Callahan, the other attorney who handled Sean Maché's brother's case, for all of her help in collaborating. And it was just it's a really fulfilling experience for me, and I really am convinced that this is something that we as lawyers should be doing more of. I had no background in asylum cases before this, and it's really something that I think more lawyers should do. You don't have to have background in asylum cases in order to be successful, and all you have to do is be committed to your client and what he is or she is trying to have happen, and work hard at it, because you get the support that you need from the Volunteer Lawyers Project in order to handle a case like this. There's all these procedural rules. You have to put the right things in your paperwork, but we were able to do that, so we didn't get tripped up by some procedural technicality. So it was really just being able to put the facts in front of the judge and let her do what was clearly the right thing. So it was a very fulfilling experience for me.
Thank you again for having joined us today. Please watch all the videos in this series so that you can learn about all the outstanding award winners in VLP's 2020 Champions for Justice Awards. And please visit our website at ecbavlp.com to help support VLP. Thank you again.